Hi, so I'm Jim Thompson. I'm presenting for the Unity Teacher Facebook group. I wanted to say hi, Carmen, and thanks for the t-shirt. So what I'm looking at doing is doing a series of video tutorials about programming with Unity to make projects for the Oculus Go. But before I jumped into Unity and into the project, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the device itself to get a handle on its limitations. Okay, so the idea being that I can help people overcome obstacles so that you'll have a better chance of doing a project that you're really happy with. So looking at the headset itself, you have to understand that basically what you're looking at is you're looking at an Android phone with a VR headset wrapped around it. And it's really quite similar to the old Google Cardboard headsets where you had a separate device that you plugged into it. This one basically has the same capabilities, it's just an all-in-one unit. So you have to understand that what it can track, the kind of graphics capability that it has, and that will set you up to a more realistic approach when you're doing a project for it. So looking at the device itself, it tracks left-right rotation, it tracks up-down rotation, that's it. Does not track its relative position in space to anything, does not track the position of, say, two controllers, it's only doing rotation. Looking at the controller itself, this is a nice little device. Nice little add-on, like if you're like me and you were doing cardboard with iOS, didn't have a controller, all you had was, say, if you had a Merge VR headset, you had a button at the top of the headset. So this is a nice change. So it's a point-and-click device. I can point, squeeze the trigger to create an action. On the top of the controller, we've got a touch button. Now, what is nice about the touch button is you can program it so that it will track where your thumb is relative to the touch button, so you can have a different click for left, right, top, bottom. But it's really only one button click, but you can sort of imitate a D-pad by the fact that it can sense where you're touching it. The last programmable element is this button here with the arrow on it. You can also have an action program for that. The bottom button, the Oculus button, that's reserved for navigation within the device itself. So you tap on that button to exit the app that you're currently in and go back into the Oculus menu. You use it to reset the controller when you launch the device first time during the day or whatever. And that's basically what you've got available to you. So it's not like an HTC Vive or Oculus or a Quest where you've got a couple of different controllers with lots of different buttons on them and triggers and all kinds of buttons you can program to. That's it. You've got the device rotation, you've got the controller, and the rotation for that is all that's tracked. Its position relative to the headset is fixed by the software. So when you're playing a scene, the virtual controller where you're pointing and clicking from within the app, that's in a fixed position relative to the headset. You don't really control that. There's a bit of an offset that you can play with, but that's about it. So rotation, point and click, touchpad clicks, and the button click. That's what you have access to. So you just have to be realistic in your approach with what you can program, and then you also have to think about the graphics capability of the headset. The headset, generally, it's going to run between 30 and 60 frames per second. So it's not a high-end VR machine by any stretch of the imagination. It's low-end, but you can still do some pretty neat stuff with it. All you need to do is look at the Oculus Go store and some of the free stuff. There's lots of really interesting stuff, even in the free areas that you can download from the Oculus store and try out. So like just things like Mary Snowballs is a lot of fun. So you just need to be prepared that there's a certain level that you're going to get to in this headset. Be reasonable about your expectations about it, and you can have a lot of fun. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into. The next thing I'm going to get into is the next video will be about setting up Unity to target the Android device, our little headset here, to do a build. So I'm going to go through some of the technical things you need to be aware of when you're doing a setup. And then we'll start with a simple scene, and then we'll start doing more elaborate programming. Okay, so it'll be a few videos, and then you'll have a good understanding of how to do a program project for the headset. Okay, so bye for now.